episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market Garden Life. This is the 2024 edition or 5th season, and this is our first full video covering these lovely specimens here with the slightly dirty bamboo stake of destiny. Now, their scientific name is Raphanistrum variety Sativus. Now, that's typically shortened to Raphanus sativus in most references. Now, what is this plant, you ask? Well, looking at the roots, some of y'all can easily guess. These are radishes, and this specific variety is Cherry Belle. Which, I mean, with a name like that, it just sounded really good for a straight, red-skinned, white-fleshed radish. Which, by the way, the whole plant is edible, folks. So just keep that in mind. Radishes are in the Brassicaceae family, which means they're related to cabbages, so, they take the similar kind of soil and nutrients, though radishes prefer a light sandy soil, so keep that in mind. Raphanus is Latin for radish, quite literally. Now, raphanistrum basically means it's called radish? Okay, that's what we're doing here. Sativus means cultivated. Because it is a quite cultured plant for cultured gardeners, yes. It is native to Southeast Asia, however, I'm going to cover that in a little more detail later in the episode. There's more to that than a straight shot on origin. It is grown in USA zones 2 through 11, though generally it is grown as an annual, so not perennial, but it may or may not be a biennial depending on variety. It prefers a soil pH of 6.5 to 7.0. It is considered a cool season plant, which is simple. Now, again, that's a light sandy soil, so in the Carolinas they do really well. Even if their time from seed to harvest is really, really short in some cases. Again, I'll get back to that in a second. Its exposure is full sun, and it can do well in partial, but it prefers full sun. And that's full southern laser sun. Its height can be 6 to 8 inches, whereas its width can be 4 to 6 on average. And as you can see, these specimens here are on the way to doing that. Another name for this plant is rabone. Rabone. I'm guessing it's pronounced French-like. But anyway. So, on that origins part, there are almost no archaeological records to clarify the original point of origin for radishes. However, there are numerous secondary cultivation sites, and Southeast Asia seems to be the region with the most existing wild forms. So, what they were cultivated from before that isn't quite the same as the wild forms there, and no one's exactly sure the true straight up origin. Southeast Asia is good enough, though, in some references they'll claim other places, but, this is what I can get from official sources. Now, radishes come in a variety of root colors, mind you. These are the traditional red with white flesh. However, they are available in white, green, pink, purple, yellow, black, and, of course, red, obviously. And then there are bicolor ones, where they only color up where they're exposed to the sun, and ones where only the berry part colors up, and so forth. So there's that. And in case you're wondering about the white ones, think daikon radishes, and icicle radishes. Those are typically the white ones that you see at the store. Now, interestingly, on that point of daikons, the largest current variety of radish is the Japanese Sakurajima radish, which can be up to 60 pounds. That's one big radish. It's a root vegetable. Now, normally radishes are quick growing, very quick. In fact, this variety, Cherry Belle, takes a mere 24 days to mature. But when you're talking things like daikons, they can take months. So it is a wide variety out there, but typically in the American markets, we're going to see more of the small red ones, which develop in anywhere from 20 to about 40 days tops. That's what you're usually going to see. But if you go through the specialty seed catalogs, you'll see things like the black Spanish one, which take longer. You'll see daikons. You'll see the wurzels. You'll start to see the daikons that are grown for animals and the ones that actually grow to punch through hardpan and then rot to produce good soil. So there's a wide variety out there. There's even a variety of radishes out there called rat-tail radishes, where I don't know if they form a root, but what you eat is the seed pods instead. Did I mention every part of the radish is edible? I think that needed to be mentioned. So radishes are a versatile crop that you can grow in between other crops. You can grow them underneath your spring crops because they don't take up as much space, but they can help with weed control. And of course, they're 100% edible, so they're safe across the board. And that's, the basics of radishes. Now, in terms of growing them, they do not require much in the way of fertilizer because their lifespan is typically so short, but a basic vegetable fertilizer will suffice, or a 10-10-10 if you need to put that down. The soil preferably needs to drain well so that they don't suffer root rot or bulb rot in this case, if you want to call it that. And they really don't live long enough to get pests, but if they do get pests, it's the typical cabbage ones. So there may be some types of caterpillars, you might get aphids, that sort of thing. They're not too hard to deal with. So that's radishes in a nutshell, and this is our first episode of 2024. Our first full episode. So, if you liked it, hit like and or subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comments below. Stay tuned. The Forge blog is still rolling. And thanks for watching and keep them growing, folks.